Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am super thrilled you're tuning in because today we're unpacking something that is absolutely crucial for basically any organization, the ultimate HR performance suite. We're going to be diving into a ranked selection of the absolute most effective HR dashboards that top organizations are using right now. So if you've ever found yourself wondering how leadership teams actually measure workforce health without, drowning in a sea of numbers, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to build this whole thing out, piece by piece.
Right off the bat, we've got to tackle this massive core challenge that our source material highlights, and that's the constant tug-of-war between clarity and complexity. Managing workforce data is just inherently complicated, right? You're dealing with people, performance, salaries, morale, the whole shebang. But here's the critical takeaway. The most effective dashboards are specifically designed to give you actionable insights by perfectly balancing that clarity with the complexity. It's really not about having every single data point in the world. It's about having the right data and having it presented so clearly that leaders can actually do something with it.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. We're exploring a ranked selection of the 4 most effective dashboards used to monitor teams. We'll hit number 1, the executive HR summary, number 2, the recruitment pipeline, 3, employee engagement, 4, compensation and pay equity, and 5, the 360-degree view.
Let's start right at the top of the organizational structure with Section 1, the Executive HR Summary.
Now, notice the very deliberate phrasing here. This dashboard isn't just about passively kicking numbers up the chain of command. According to the source, the Executive HR Summary actively sets the strategic tone. It's your starting line. Whenever leadership looks at workforce health, this is the dashboard that establishes the overarching direction for the entire company's HR strategy. It literally tells you, in real time, if you're on the right path or if you need to pivot.
Actually, think of the strategic tone as your organization's true north. By defining exactly how the company monitors workforce health right from the very top, this executive summary basically anchors all the other dashboards we're about to look at. It gives the entire HR suite a unified purpose. Because honestly, without this tone clearly set at the executive level, the rest of your data is kind of just floating around without context.
Once that foundational direction is locked in, we move to Section 2, the recruitment pipeline.
This brings us to the recruitment pipeline dashboard, and its core mandate is ensuring hiring efficiency. Let's be real. Hiring can be totally chaotic. You've got lost resumes, endless interview loops, absolute scheduling nightmares. This dashboard is designed to take all that multivariable headache and distill it down to a clear, efficient, and highly measurable pipeline. It's all about making sure the gears of recruitment are turning as smoothly as possible.
So how does this actually function in practice? Well, first, you monitor the recruitment need. Then, you evaluate how efficiently your pipeline is actually moving a candidate from their initial application all the way to an offer. And finally, you ensure all of that aligns perfectly with that strategic tone we just talked about. Tracking this step-by-step is absolutely vital. If your recruitment isn't efficient, your overall organizational health takes a hit before an employee even walks through the door on day 1.
Now let's shift our focus to the people already inside the building with Section 3, employee engagement. Okay, the employee engagement dashboard. I really want to draw your attention to a super powerful verb our source uses here, safeguards. It safeguards morale. So it doesn't just measure how people are feeling. It acts as an active protector of the company's internal spirit. By giving HR leaders crystal clear insights into engagement levels, they can step in and protect morale before tiny issues blow up into massive problems. It's basically a proactive defensive shield for your workforce. If you think of workforce health as a giant pie, safeguarding employee morale is one massive, equally vital slice. It sits right there alongside recruitment and pay equity. You just can't have a healthy organization if the engagement slice is shrinking. It really just goes to show how deeply interconnected all these metrics are within a comprehensive suite. And that brings us to the 4th, and honestly, often the most intricate piece of the HR puzzle, Section 4, compensation and pay equity. Now, what's really fascinating here is the word enforces. Just like the engagement dashboard safeguards morale, this one takes a really abstract concept, fairness, and turns it into a hard, measurable, enforceable reality. It ensures that pay equity isn't just, some empty corporate promise buried in a handbook somewhere, but a solid data point that is actively monitored and maintained. So when we distill these mandates down, it's incredibly straightforward. Focusing on compensation means you are actively enforcing equity. And focusing on performance means you are monitoring health. By tracking pay equity with this level of clarity, HR leaders get actionable insights to make immediate adjustments. It completely removes the guesswork from compensation. All right, we've explored the 4 individual dashboards. Now for the grand synthesis in Section 5, the 360-degree view.
Let's do a super quick recap of these interlocking blocks. We've got the executive summary setting the strategic tone. We have the recruitment pipeline ensuring hiring efficiency. The employee engagement dashboard is there safeguarding morale, and compensation is enforcing fairness. Now, our sources emphasize that while these dashboards are definitely powerful on their own, their true value is unlocked when they're put together. They are puzzle pieces just waiting to be connected.
And when you do connect them, bam, you get the 360-degree view. This is literally the climax of what we're talking about today. The entire goal of integrating these specific dashboards is to achieve a fully panoramic perspective of your organization. You're no longer just looking at hiring in a vacuum or pay in a vacuum. You are finally seeing the entire ecosystem of your workforce health.
The contrast here is staggering. If you're only looking at these elements in isolation, you are creating massive blind spots for yourself. I mean, you could have highly efficient hiring, but completely terrible morale. But when they're all integrated into one complete suite, you get total visibility. It beautifully balances the clarity you need with the raw complexity of human dynamics, letting leaders actually steer the ship.
Let's anchor this right back to our source text to really drive it home. When integrated, these dashboards, quote, provide HR leaders with a 360-degree view of workforce performance and organizational health. True organizational health isn't about just acing one single metric. It requires balancing all of these components perfectly, strategy, recruitment, engagement, and equity, to actually see the whole picture. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly important thought. I want you to look at your own analytics right now. Do you have a true 360-degree view of your workforce, or are you missing a crucial piece of the puzzle? Because as we've clearly seen today, leaving even one of these elements out means you aren't really seeing your organization at all. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this helps you build a clearer, stronger view of your own teams.